Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elizabeth and today I'm going to be telling you guys a few tips and tricks on nailing your grad school interview. I have 1 week left of my first semester of PT school and it's kind of made me start thinking about where it all started. So I'm going to run through a few tips here that I have for interview day specifically. If you have any other questions, be sure to leave them down below. Okay, so my first tip is to dress up. You absolutely want to look professional. You are going into a professional profession and you want to dress the part. I did something to make myself feel more professional and feel more dressed for the occasion. I went and got my nails done. That just made me feel all sorts of fancy and gave me a little bit more confidence. You want to wear something that gives you confidence and really helps you dress your part, feel your best, look your best, and nail your interview from the moment you walk in the door. My second tip is to make a really awesome playlist that just gets you so pumped up and so excited that you can listen to on the way there. You want something positive, something that'll build your confidence and get you in a good mood so you can go in there and be yourself. Along with driving, you should also leave your house early, get there early. If you have to stay in your car an extra like 10 minutes just listening to music versus like risking being late, like choose that option. Before you leave your house, be sure that you get on a map and you know, especially if you've never been to this campus before, you know where you're parking, where the building is, where the room is that you have to be. Be sure that you park at the location closest or the location they recommend. You know, campuses have so many parking lots and so many buildings. You just want to be able to know that you are confident, that you know where you're going and you don't have to waste time on that day of. My next tip is to eat a snack before you go, because the worst thing to do is be hungry when you're there. You want to make sure that that is not even an issue. For my interview, they fed me at the end of it, but I don't think that all of them do. So that would be a nice little treat for yourself. Get yourself a snack and then also brush your teeth before you get there, or if you get your snack on the way, have gum or something. You don't want food in your teeth and you don't want your breath to smell, because you're going to be talking with a lot of people, not even just one person, but a lot of them. Okay, my next tip is to walk in the door already I know everyone says walk in confidently and you know you're supposed to be there, all that stuff, but sometimes if you're shy, that can be pretty hard. And so my tip for this is to pretend these people already know you, because you want to be a good fit for their program, but you want to make sure that you're a good fit too. So trying to let your guard down and be okay, these people are already my friends, they already know me, I have to be my full self around them, or else they might not know that I'm a perfect fit for this school. Going off that though, yes, you are in an interview, so they're judging you and they're deciding whether or not you would be a good fit for them, but you are also judging them. You have to make sure that you would be a good fit for that school. If it's a smaller school, if it's a larger school, where the campus is located, you have to make sure that you want to go to that school too. It's not just they give you an offer and you're yeah, I have to go there. It's you don't have to. You want to make sure that you are a good fit for that school also. That also means ask them questions back. Usually they end an interview with, do you guys have any questions? And a lot of people are nope, I don't have any questions. I didn't even think of it until this moment. Google your questions beforehand. If you don't really have any questions, find good questions to ask them. Be hey, do you like working here? How long have you worked here? Where did you go to undergrad? How was the program? What are I know they answer all the basic ones, but find different ones to ask. I think that I asked a question about clinical rotations. I'm a traveler, and so I wanted to know do you guys encourage traveling for clinical rotations? Do you have to be here for all of them? I know that stuff is online, but I wanted to know their personal opinion about whether or not they really encourage traveling, or if it's just you only have to go out of state for one. Because I want to go out of state for most of them, so I want to be hey, will you encourage that and help me find places for that, or are they all basically right here in the area? Jumping off the kind of Googling questions and making sure that you're confident about everything, you want to not only Google questions that you can ask them back, or have questions you can ask them back, but Google questions that would be in your particular field's interview. So for me, going into PT, they're gonna ask, why do you want to be a PT? What brought you into this career path? why did you choose to apply to this school? Tell me about your clinical rotations or your observation hours or yada yada yada. You gotta know those answers up front. I know that you do, like, deep down in your heart, but like if you don't have a nice clean answer for that, like, work it out beforehand. You don't want to be scrambling there, like, you know, not prepared for what they asked you. You kind of want to know what you're going to say before you're in that situation. For me personally, I did a group interview. I had two other interviewees with me, and then I had a professor and then 2 students interviewing me also. My biggest tip if you have a group interview is to learn the other people interviewing's names. I still remember the 2 people I interviewed with. I know their names. It's like a group interview is not so you can like outshine the others. Like, yes, it is, but like at the same time, they want to see that you can work as a team. And so you want to be like, oh yeah, just like so-and-so said, I also have an experience like this, but it's a little different because this. Or I also agree with what she said, use her name, just because of yada yada yada. Like, you want to show that you can work on a team. You want to show that like your whole goal is not to like push them down in the dirt every time they open their mouth. Like, you want to work with each other and build each other up. I actually interviewed with one of the people that I had previously worked with at a job, and so she could say something about, you know, a certain situation that happened while working, and like immediately, like, it was so great. Like, immediately I could be like, oh yeah, I completely understand. She and I worked together and I would see stuff like this all the time, but when this happened in this type of situation, here's what I would do. So it's kind of cool, like, learn about each other. Like, you're going to be given a tour or whatever with them, like, ask them questions about themselves, kind of get to know them. Like, interview day is a fun day. It's not like it's not necessarily a cutthroat day and be like, I need to tear all these people down. It's like, come on guys, we're all here together, you know, okay. Going off the group interview thing, rotate who answers questions first. You don't all want to be like, okay, this person answers all of them first and this person answers all of them last. That's kind of mean, and you don't want to do that. In your interview in general, like, you have to be very qualified to get into like an interview. Like, I think our minimum was like, I don't know, probably like 80 or 100 observation hours in different settings, and I was walking in with probably like 1,500 just because I've been working in the career path for like 2 or 3 years. And you have to realize that, yes, everyone in that situation is just as qualified as you. Basically, you all have, you all met the requirements is what I'm trying to say. And you have to realize that, you know, you're all just as qualified to be there. So yes, talk about your observation hours in your different settings. I did inpatient, outpatient, you know, the different types of people I worked with, all that. Like, yes, I could talk about it, but like, fam, everyone who's at that point is just as qualified as that. Like, believe it or not, if you got an interview, like, those people are very like top of the line. You know, you got to stand out a little bit differently than just interviewing about your like job experience or observation hours. Everyone is on that level, and you have to work to make yourself stand out even more than that. You have to talk about your other passions and your other hobbies, and it would be so great if you could relate them to your career field. So like, I travel, I run half marathons, I'm trying to do one in every state, and I'm also a photographer, and I have a YouTube channel. So when she would ask questions about, you know, other stuff you like to do, whatever, I made it a big point to say like, oh yeah, I'm a photographer, and, you know, I have my own business, I have all the experience with that, and, you know, it helps me because I'm really good at talking with people and explaining things to people with like poses and how they fit in a picture and all sorts of stuff. But then I related it to therapy by saying, so it means that like, I'm not really afraid to touch someone, to like brush the hair off of their shoulder or move their arm to be differently, which is similar to I'm not afraid to like help a patient put their socks on or help them get out of bed. A lot of students are very afraid of that the first time, and it can be very scary, so you gotta be like, I got this, I'm not afraid of that anymore. Like, I have experience to be able to do that to a complete stranger. And relating your hobbies to your career path is like, that's great, that's what they want to see. I guess a really big tip relating on that is to get your work experience. Don't just get the minimum hours for like observation hours and clinical stuff. Like, if you can get a job in the career field, do it, especially with like therapy. It pays way better than like working retail, so I don't know why you wouldn't want to do that. It's great. My last tip is to write a follow-up email afterwards for my interview day, we had a huge snowstorm and they closed campus and actually sent us home from our interview a little bit early. And so in my follow-up interview, I emailed the professor who interviewed us and I said, thank you for emailing me, or thank you for interviewing me. I hope you got home safe in the snowstorm. I appreciated you listening to how I described like this. You know, I made it personal because I know that, you know, when you're at the top of the line, everyone's going to be sending thank you letters, and you had to be like, I guess, thank you emails. You had to make yours unique so she remembers who you are. And so I mentioned my photography and thank you for telling me about your daughter who's also running, and, you know, all that stuff. Just make that personal connection. I think that's all the tips I have. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. But you will do great. Just be confident, and, you know, you'll end up in the perfect fit for you. You really just want to stand out interview day. We weren't supposed to be told until the Friday afterwards, and I was told the following Monday, like 5 days before we were supposed to even be told. So you really want to stand out and be unique and just be yourself, because they will love you no matter what, and you will do great. And, you know, it's an accomplishment to make it to that point. So you'll be awesome. That's it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I do have some other grad school videos up on my channel. I will link them in a box somewhere. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!